What's up, guys? This is Madison.
And I'm Nolan.
And you're watching Lark in the Loop
on video. Woo! Yeah! Bring the hype.
We're
Bring
back!
the hype on
We're back!
video. Cab events, outdoor movie on this Friday. We will be watching White Chicks. Oh my gosh! Right outside of Herb at 8 p.m. Popcorn and drinks will be provided. Oh my gosh, I love White Chicks. If I had a nickel for the amount of times I've seen White Chicks, I'd probably have around 10 nickels.
With your Lark's Nest special this week, corn dog meal for $5. Get a corn dog, fries, and a drink. Summer housing application due today. See email from Abby.
You guys better send those in if you want to stay here over the summer. But the pen to paper performance next Friday and Saturday, May 1st and 2nd. Come watch these fantastic 10-minute plays with watts of Hesston College talent on display.
Applications out for CAB next year. Due Sunday night. See email from Mitchell.
Oh my gosh, Maddie, we got some crazy athletic victories. Read them off.
JV baseball beat Bethany 3-1. Baseball beat Kansas Christian 13-6. JV baseball beat Mid-American Nazarene 2-1 and 7-4. JV baseball beat Friends 7-5. And your flag football team beat Cotty 20-13 in overtime and made it to the playoffs!
Yeah! Woo! All right, today, people, we have softball at Kansas Wesleyan and baseball versus Tabor at 5 p.m.
On Friday, baseball at Champion Christian doubleheader and flag at Ottawa for the playoffs.
Woo! Give them another hand. Come on, come on, come on, come on. On Saturday, we have softball at McPherson, which will be a doubleheader, and baseball at Champion Christian.
And Monday, golf at the CAC Championship.
And thank you for watching the Lark in the Loop on video, where we are bringing the hype back!
Yeah!
Woo!
Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for being here today. This formation on sexualized violence is a very important opportunity for us to learn, reflect, and better understand how we can create a safer and more respectful community here at Hesston. These conversations aren't always easy, but they're necessary, and your presence here today shows your commitment to being a part of that change. For some, this might be a triggering topic, so if at any point during this formation you feel the need to step out, please feel free to do so quietly. We are especially grateful to have someone here with us today who is deeply knowledgeable and dedicated to this work. She plays a vital role in supporting us students and guiding our campus response to issues related to sexual misconduct and safety. Please join me in welcoming Title IX Coordinator Whitney Douglas.
Thanks, Psycho. Good morning. Today, I want to talk with you about what accountability looks like in the age of Epstein. And this feels like a weirder way to look at stuff in 2026 than any of the years I've been here at Hesston before. In December of this last year, in January and February of this year, millions of Epstein files have been released. Since then, there have, to date, been 0 investigations opened and or indictments into any of the activities that are discussed in those files. In March of this year, CNN did an expose and had investigative journalism that exposed a website that they nicknamed a Rape Academy. And on that website, men from around the world would share advice and resources with one another about how to drug and sexually assault their partners. Many of them filmed their crimes and sold access to that video footage through the website as well. In February 2026 alone, that website received 62 million hits, 62 million visits. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they don't receive that much in a single month, more than most of the popular websites that you know about. So for me, in the last 6 months at least, I have never felt more aware of sexualized violence existence and the rampantness of that in our world and our culture. And so as I thought about what to share with you today, I imagine that, like me, you don't need to be more aware that it happens. And at the same time, I have never felt less optimistic about systems of power or our government or others having a willingness to hold perpetrators of sexualized violence accountable. And so what does that look like for us? How do we move forward with April being Sexual Assault Awareness Month? What do we do with looking at sexualized violence? I want to suggest that the gap that is left by our government and our other authorities is an invitation for us to seek deeper community around these issues. There is some that we can do to fight for justice, and should those of us called to fight for justice and accountability should pursue those kinds of things. And largely, justice is out of our control, out of our hands. But I want to suggest that accountability is not. And what accountability can look like is intentional presence in community and strategic efforts that are focused on building trust and interdependence on a local level. In my experience of responding to sexualized violence, I've found that there are often warning signs of abusive behaviors that when we respond with curiosity and kindness and accountability, there are real paths forward for all parties involved. And by the time that something makes it to my office, sometimes we have blown through those warning signs and are already at full-on abusive behavior or assault. And in all of that, I have found something to be reliably true, that hurt people 100% of the time unless they heal. And if you have experienced some sort of profound hurt in your life, whether that's sexualized violence or not, that you haven't had the opportunity to process in the presence of an empathetic witness, then in my experience, pain will demand to be felt. So for some folks, that pain is turned outward toward others. And for some, they turn inwards and inflict the abuse and harm on themselves. And nonetheless, the pain deserves an empathetic witness and demands to be felt and is doing harm in our lives. If you have experienced hurt, you deserve to heal, even if you are primarily turning your hurt inward. Your own abuse towards yourself matters deeply. You deserve to find a balance where you can love others and yourself, that you can take care of your needs and support your community. And you may or may not need a therapist to be the person that helps you process that, but I think we all need empathetic witnesses, especially when we have really severe trauma in our lives or pain that we are dealing with. Someone who can look at you with love and acknowledge the pain you're going through, validate it, and invite you back into relationships that feel safe and supportive, as opposed to isolating from your community when you're in pain. I personally have been hurt by a number of things, but I have personally experienced sexualized violence. When I was a junior in college in 2009, on April 27th, I was sexually assaulted. by a fellow student at my school. Before April 27th, I was a pretty good student, and I was really outgoing and socially involved on campus. Afterwards, I felt like I just didn't recognize myself anymore. I found it really hard to take care of basic needs. If I didn't have to be somewhere, I wanted to be asleep. I wanted to not be present in the world where the assault was real. And my academics suffered. I had a ministry class with the person who assaulted me the next semester, and that was incredibly difficult to navigate, and I failed the class, so more than difficult to navigate, I suppose. And I did not report the assault. The semester before I was assaulted, there was another student that I didn't have any social connections to who had experienced a sexual assault and had reported it. And the rumor mill that went around the student body about that was slut-shaming her. It was not supporting her, and it definitely wasn't inviting any accountability to the person she alleged assaulted her. It was slut-shaming her. And my personal first disclosure was to a friend that night. I called somebody that I felt was safe when I made it back to my dorm room, and her response really leaned into questioning my part. What had I done that got myself in that situation? Had I effectively communicated that I was not okay with something? It really I felt on trial with my friend in my dorm room in the middle of the night. And I did not tell very many people after that. There were a number of other things that were barriers to me telling authorities, but I also felt like if I had told my parents at the time or some other people that were really close to me, that at worst I'd get a similar response to what I got from my friend, but maybe at best the response would be me needing to take care of their emotions about my trauma. And I just didn't have the space to hold that, and so I turned inward. I locked it all away, and I think almost unconsciously I began to turn that pain inward. I neglected my physical body and my emotions. I eventually struggled deeply with suicidal ideation and self-harm behaviors, and while that type of stuff would go dormant in my life for large periods of time, I would find that stress or other types of things in life would have things bubbling back up all the time, and that until I was able to find someone that I could trust, an empathetic witness, to sit with and process what I went through, that there wasn't a path forward even in just my own personal well-being, that I couldn't get over the cycles of self-abuse. And everyone's experiences with this kind of thing isn't always the same, and so the way your pain, whatever it is playing itself out in your life might not look like mine. And I would argue that with the exception of a few of my professors, I looked like I was handling my stuff most of my life. But there's a lot that you cannot see when you look at someone's face, when you look at someone on a day-to-day basis. We all put on a mask, put on a good show. I don't usually dress like this. I dressed nice for you all to stand on stage today. And that is okay. But then if we don't go deeper in community, we miss the opportunities to build accountability, to build safety nets for people who experience harm, as well as opportunities for all folks to experience healing, which reduces harm, whether that harm is on yourself or being pushed outward. If you have experienced harm, you deserve to heal. On campus here, we have some resources that are available to you free. You have the opportunity to talk to Jose or Nick or Michelle, who are all confidential resources, and you can share with them things that don't go anywhere. The confidentiality means that the only situation they're able to talk about anything you share is if you explicitly ask them to and sign a document saying so, or if what you have shared is that you intend to harm yourself or someone else and they need to get you help to be safe. Otherwise, they're legally obligated to keep your confidence. And you might find other folks that in your life could be an empathetic witness. I think that the type of person you are looking for to be an empathetic witness is someone who has the capacity to sit with you and listen to your struggle without making it about them. Anybody who loves you is going to hate to hear that you have experienced profound hurt, and they will probably feel pain of their own because of that. And sometimes people aren't healthy enough because of their own personal pain to receive something that you have experienced in a way that can sit and be an empathetic witness, because now they're triggered from their past or their experiences, and they have this pain because of their love for you. And so while that person might be an excellent friend, a ride or die friend even, they might not be the type of person that has the capacity to be an empathetic witness. They might be the type of person that, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, internally your experience in that feels like, I better not talk to other people about this because they don't get it. And the truth is that there are people who get it and or want to get it. They want to keep listening and be curious with you until they understand and you understand the path forward for you. And so sometimes seeking out a professional, which Jose or myself can also assist you in getting access to professional counseling off campus. If there's barriers for that and you want to have support in that, we would be happy to help with that as well. But sometimes you do know a friend who does have the capacity to go figure out what to do with their own emotions about your struggle on their own or with someone else, but can sit there and just hold space for what is real for you without making it about their experience of what's real for you. And that is the type of person that really creates the safety for you to be honest and for you to figure out the path forward from what you have experienced. And as you seek to heal, I want to encourage that the ways that we build relationships with one another, we can start to invite each other to similar healing, and we can also name what is true about our friends and classmates and colleagues in relationship. And so if you have a friend who is really into someone who's not that into them, and they can't seem to let it go, that sometimes is a warning sign of abusive behavior being possible, of lines being crossed that are harmful. And I think it is often a sign that maybe if you are finding yourself unable to let go of someone who's trying to set a boundary and say no to a certain type of relationship with you, that there is a need for healing and also a need for an acknowledgement that you deserve to be in a relationship, romantically or otherwise, with someone who wants to be in a relationship as much as you do. You don't deserve to be in a relationship where you feel like you have to beg that person to care about you or ask for basic things in relationship, whether they are romantic or friendship. If you have to demand that someone care about you, show up for you, then you don't have the type of relationship with them that you think you do, and you deserve the type of relationship that you long for. But their behavior might be telling you they don't have the capacity for that. And so we can see those types of things in one another and can invite each other to notice, hey, I think you're hurting your own soul with the way you're responding to this rejection. Because the rejection is undoubtedly painful, and you are worthy of love and belonging, and there are people who want to love you, people that you can belong with. If that person's not it, let them go. You don't deserve a relationship that you had to beg for anyway. And the other thing is that at times we don't always know what type of behavior or relationship type of stuff is signs of abuse, but we do see that our friends are just struggling, that something's off, something's different, someone's who used to be social and bubbly has disappeared and seems to want to sleep all the time, or someone who used to be chill is really reactive and angry. Like, you notice these shifts that happen in people, and if we can get curious, even if we don't have the capacity to be their therapist, we can invite them into deeper community, and we can engage in deeper community. And as a result, we have the opportunity to call others around us up in love, to speak truth about what their identity is and invite them into that, which reduces harm and reduces sexualized violence in massive ways. And we also have the capacity to intervene for folks who have experienced harm. When we're in community and we're living in a small campus, we tend to know folks at least by faces, sometimes by names, even if we're not close. But the more that we build relationships of trust and kindness between each other, that doesn't mean that you should have hundreds of best friends that you're spilling your soul to all the time, but that there's this recognition of the humanity of your fellow students and the shared impact that you all have on one another as a collective community, and a desire to be a part of that, that increases safety. If you're walking across campus at night and somebody walks through campus that you don't recognize, someone who doesn't belong here and doesn't seem to, is giving off suspicious vibes, but you see 5 other folks walking in various directions that you're gonna cross paths with in one way or another, as you might encounter this individual walking across campus, your level of safety has increased infinitely if you know each other. Whether you're besties or not, if that person knows you, there's more likelihood that they're gonna engage. If you don't know someone and if you don't know what's going on, we can tend to back off as humans. There's a lot of things that can cause us to be passive when we witness something that seems off. But if there is relationship, we are creating more opportunities for curiosity and getting close and engaging with one another. And so I want to encourage you to think about where things are for you in your experience of life. Some of you undoubtedly have experienced sexualized violence in ways that have caused harm, and you may or may not have healed from that fully and might want to seek out support. Some of you have experienced other types of harm, whether it was abuse in relationships in your past or in your home growing up, or other types of traumatic things that are impacting your ability to care for yourself and care for others and care for your goals and passions in life. Those are also things that you deserve to seek healing for, and in doing so, you create more of that in your community. And the way that we build community with one another, thinking about what that looks like for you. How do you expand your circle? Maybe you need some deeper friendships. Maybe you have struggled to find that, and you want to be intentional about seeking out relationships that feel like they can be reciprocal. If you need help with that and want to have conversations about that, I'd love to talk with anyone about that, and I am certain Jose and Nick and Michelle would also be willing to, and others that you know and trust and respect in those areas would be happy to talk with you about how do you see and seek out the relationships that are a good fit for you. But also, maybe you already have those types of relationships, and so you don't need that. And you might then think, so my social circle is complete and I'm done and I'm okay to just exist with this close group and my extended team family or theater family or whatever group that you engage with on a broader scale. And I want to invite you to think about what would it look like to expand your definition of community here at Hesston, and how would it look to be more engaged in ways that make you feel like you aren't strangers with folks across campus. We don't have to be building relationships that are about deep besties that you'll hang out forever to build relationships that strengthen our community as a whole. Next week on Tuesday, we are going to be hosting a Take Back the Night event. It's going to start at 8 o'clock in the Lark's Nest with glow-in-the-dark craft activity led by Cab, and myself and the WAs are going to be leading a event where we'll march across campus and meet at the campfire, and then we'll also spend time hanging out afterwards, with Cab having lawn games and stuff available. And so it will be a night that I am hoping there's opportunity for those who engage to build on their community here at Hesston, to get to know one another better, for the purpose of being a part of the whole and increasing safety and accountability, and creating a culture that refuses to be defined by a broader culture around us, so that we don't have to be dependent on the justice system for a healthy and safe community. Thank you all for joining me today, and if any of you feel like there were things that came up that you didn't expect, please find an empathetic witness, one of us or a friend, to process that. We're here for you now or later. You can reach out as we go. So, is there any special instructions they need before they leave? Or? All right, awesome. Thank you, everyone. You're dismissed. That's not mine. I don't know why I was going to grab my book.